weeks, I think a number of us have been challenged by the process that has been established. And I know that we didn't necessarily go through this process in the same manner during the last time that we had to fill the interim position, but can we be told what the requirements were during the last time we had an open interim position? And then I will follow that up with another question, Mr. Chair.
The requirements were the same as this time. We followed the same procedure that we did before in our records.
Can you specifically tell us what those requirements were, Mr. Chair? Because something happened this time that was a little different. I'm not sure exactly what it was, Mr. Chair.
All right. I read part of this earlier. The last part. Let me read the first part.
This is the last interim?
No, the last part I read earlier. I'm not going to repeat it. I'll read the first part. Filling a vacancy. Upon notification of a vacancy of the council, the chairman shall request written notifications from council members of a qualified individual they would like to be considered for the position. Additionally, the public may nominate candidates, and interested candidates may personally submit a letter indicating their interest in the vacant seat. The name, address, and birth date of all candidates should be included in the nominating letter. Interested candidates will also be asked to provide proof of residency as described by the City of Memphis Human Resources Division. The candidates will be certified by the Shelby County Election Commission. Required documents for proof of residency shall be at least one of the following: a valid Tennessee driver's license or state identification, Tennessee vehicle registration, current Memphis Light, Gas, and Water bill within the previous 30 days, and at least two of the following: mortgage papers or lease agreement in the candidate's or spouse's name, address section of the federal tax return or tax bill for residents, recent bank or credit union statement in candidate's or spouse's name within the previous 30 days, and voter registration card. Signatures of 25 registered voters residing in the council district in which the vacancy exists shall be obtained. Said signatures and proof of residency shall be submitted to the Shelby County Election Commission on a form which includes a sworn affirmative statement regarding the residency of the candidate by noon on the Thursday preceding the Tuesday meeting when the council shall fill the vacancy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The other challenge that came, Mr. Chair, obviously a number of council members were inquiring about residency, and we were advised today that there was a November 8, 1966 law that basically eliminated what many of us thought was the city's ordinance or charter on residency. And now we are being told that each member shall be a resident as defined by state election laws of the city and of the district from which he or she is elected. And just for the record, Attorney Wade, you have given me a copy of this. This is the state Tennessee Code annotated with regard to residency, correct? Okay. Can you kind of just briefly tell us how did this change and where we are today? And if this was exactly the issue that we followed last year? The last time the interim was open.
We have followed this rule since 1996 when it was adopted. Every member that's sitting in the chairs up there has followed this law to qualify to be elected on the city council.
1966.
96, Ms. Calvert.
Are you talking about 1852?
No, Ordinance 1852 was adopted to change the city to a home rule municipality. That charter was amended through an election on November 5th, I believe, 1996. That's not right. And that amendment deleted the 4th paragraph of Section 1 of the Home Rule Charter, which I have given you a copy of. There are 4 paragraphs numbered in the Home Rule Charter, and the 4th one is the one that has the 5-year and 6-month provision. By a Home Rule amendment voted on by the people, approved by this council to go on referendum, and I believe that was by unanimous vote to settle the voting rights lawsuit that was changed to make our charter constitutional.
Okay, so let me make sure there's clarification, sir. This document says the Memphis Referendum Ordinance number 1852 adopted November 8th of 1966. Are you suggesting, because it talks about how it removed language from the Home Rule Amendment. So are you saying that there was something else that occurred in November of 1996? I mean, I'm just asking.
Why don't I pass this out so everybody can see what we're talking about?
Okay,
and maybe somebody else can explain it more clearly than I can. But it looks like to me that what I've given you explains it very clearly, that in 1996, by referendum vote of the people, Memphis Referendum Ordinance number 1852, adopted November 8, 1996, was amended by deleting the 2nd and 4th paragraphs of Section 1. And if you turn the page, I have given you paragraphs 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Section 1. So paragraph 2, which had 13 members elected, 6 at large, and 7 from districts, was deleted. It was found to be unconstitutional and violated the Voting Rights Act. As a matter of fact, that lawsuit dictated that 7 districts would be composed primarily of a majority vote of African American citizens, and that's probably why you have a majority African American council today and a black mayor. Then number 4 was deleted because it was unconstitutional under the decision of the United States Supreme Court, which did away with durational residency. All of these provisions being deleted, and the substitute language was approved by then federal judge Jerome Turner, who ruled that these provisions are now constitutional. That's why they were done.
And then my final question to you, Attorney Wade, you gave me a copy of the Tennessee Code Annotated, which cites 2-2-102 and 2-2-122, which defines resident. And basically it says that anyone who lives, can you tell us exactly, anyone who establishes a residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I think that I went through this in great detail during the executive session. The definition under the election laws, it says a resident has the meaning given in sections 2-2102 and 2-2122. 2-2102 merely states the mandate that voters are required to vote in the election precincts in which they reside. 2-2122 gives you the factors to be used in determining when a person is a resident. And again, that's what I advised you during the executive session, that this was based on a person's intent to make a residence his personal domicile, permanent domicile. This goes through a number of factors. It's where you live is one of them. But it also is based on the person has an intent to return to that place as his permanent resident. A person may not register to vote using a... It goes on to say that a person does not become a resident of a place solely by intending to make it the person's residence. There must be appropriate action consistent. That's why we ask for tax returns, leases, deeds, mortgages, bank statements, anything that gives some action that shows some intent to confirm that this is where you intend to reside permanently. It says a place where a married person, spouse, and family have their habitation is preserved